Ohio State, big man Sean Stewart has entered the transfer portal. Did not have the season that Ohio State was hoping he would have following his transfer from Duke, former McDonald's All American. Spent his freshman season at Duke, played a small role, transferred to Ohio State with the hope of him having a breakout season, getting a bigger role. That did not come to fruition. He averaged less than 6 points and 6 rebounds per game. Had to play in the front court almost exclusively, play the 4 or 5 role for Ohio State, largely due to some full court issues, but also due to his lack of shooting. Now he's leaving Columbus. Dion, what do you make of Sean Stewart as a player? Because he's got now 2 underwhelming seasons, has shown flashes, but who is he at this point?
See, that's the thing is I don't think we know. Because his seasons have been so underwhelming, we have no idea what he can actually do. I think there's a lot of raw talent there, I guess you could say. He everything you hear about him is he's an athlete, right?
Yeah,
Um, Here's my issue with athletes though that do something that he like that don't do something he doesn't do, and that's rebound. If you if you are so athletic, get up there, grab ball, bring ball down, pass to point guard at a high level. You're a power forward, and you have ball, grab, down, pass. That's it. If you do that at a high level, no one's going to complain about the fact that you've taken two threes across 63 career collegiate games. You're a 51% free throw shooter. Um, and to be honest, you don't draw that many fouls for such a freak athlete as well. But I do think there's a lot of raw talent there. I mentioned the three pointers. I don't think his form is that crazy. Same when it comes to the free throws. I actually think um, one disadvantage he has is he's so like big, strong, and athletic. I don't think he gets as many calls as he should. I think 54 free throws last year. If you watched an Ohio State game, like he should live at the free throw line.
yeah.
To be honest, so I think that's the one area where like he could learn to sell the call. Maybe I don't want to encourage anybody to flop, but like sell the call a little bit. I think he could get better on the defensive end too. Defense, rebounding, getting to the basket. I think those are the areas if he improves a little bit, you're talking about like a really, really good collegiate player. But he's had some flaws in his first 2 years, to say the least.
He has the potential and the flashes have only been inconsistent, and honestly, his fouling has a ton to do with that. He committed 7.5 fouls per 40 minutes
Yes.
last season.
He has 71 field goals made last year, 103 personal fouls. That is impressive.
That is an issue. That is a problem because you need him to produce, and when he's out there, he's solid. The rebounding rate is pretty high. On the defensive end, he's not as active on the offensive end, and the raw production certainly is not there. Rim protection wise, he's been okay again when he's on the court, but that's the problem. So no official list has been released yet. There was a clip that was circulating on social media during Duke's NCAA tournament run of him at the game watching Duke with former Duke players Jared McCain and Ryan Young, both of whom he played with during his freshman season. I don't know if he'd go back to Duke to take like a very minor role, or if he would look at somewhere else that could potentially offer him more playing time and a bigger role, even if that's transferring down a level. How do you see his outlook and the kind of teams that at least should be interested in Sean Stewart?
We interrupt this sleepers video to tell you about an offer from Underdog Fantasy. Cart, you love Underdog Fantasy, correct?
Of course I do. Can I have a moment real quick?
Please. Thank you for that. In fact, I'm going to cut you off because our listeners like when we keep these short and sweet. Underdog Fantasy. Sign up as a new user. Use promo code SLEEPERS. Get bonus funds up to $1,000, 50% of your deposit match. The NBA playoffs are rocking right now. I played Underdog last week with a Cade Cunningham line. I'm looking forward to doing it throughout the entire first round of the NBA playoffs, but there's more. You can place picks on golf. You can place picks on baseball. You can place picks on the NHL playoffs that are rocking right now. Join Underdog Fantasy, promo code Sleepers. Support this show so that we can keep bringing videos to you. Back to the video.
I think he needs to go down a level. This is crazy because like how much people transfer is crazy to me. Obviously, if I'm Sean Stewart, I'm going down a level to come back up a level. I tell Shire, like, hold on to that scholarship if you're really interested in me. Hold on to it for a year. I'm gonna go down to, I'll play at UNC Wilmington. I'll stay in the area. You know what I mean? We'll stay in contact. I have no idea if UNC Wilmington's close to Duke, by the way. But I'll go to Greensboro.
2 hours. 2 hours.
Love that. Love that. Love that. Honestly, everywhere in North Carolina is 2 hours away from each other, though. By the way, so like I could have said anything, and it would have been about 2 hours from Duke.
North
Uh,
Carolina underrated. So I'm in Raleigh, which is right by Durham, in the middle of the state. You can go to Wilmington's about 2 hours away. Outer Banks is about 4, and then the mountains are about 5. It's a
Elite
big
TV
state,
show.
man.
Elite TV show. Outer Banks. Top
It
tier.
got repetitive, but anyway,
Eh, are you Breaking Bad guy?
I am Breaking Bad guy. Yeah.
Let's talk about repetitive. Like, I mean,
Okay,
talk
we're
about
not comparing the quality of Outer Banks and Breaking Bad and saying those are similar shows. Please continue talking about Sean Stewart.
Breaking Bad, one of the all-time most repetitive shows of all time. But back to Sean Stewart, who also has had a repetitive career that involves a lack of scoring and a lot of fouling. Transfer down a level, work through the kinks that you've had the first 2 years, and then come back. I think if you try to go high major, it's going to these are kids at the end of the day. It's going to make them feel like they aren't doing anything wrong. Accountability is key. I think he needs to go down a level, be held accountable at that level, have some of the freedom to make mistakes, then he can come back to Duke.
Yeah, I think a return to Duke, which again, nothing linked to that other than the fact he was in the crowd watching them with some friends. That could be something, could be nothing. I think that's kind of admitting that like I'm playing in college and I'm just gonna try and have fun. Which him as the like ninth man for Duke, where he can still play the 18 minutes per game he played last season and do it in spurts. I think that's I think that's fine. But I also think he could go somewhere like VCU or somewhere in the A10. UNC Wilmington, as you mentioned, and be a starter and try and round out his game. Because if he gets rid of some of these bad habits, the potential for him to be really, really good college player is there. Just kind of depends on what he wants. I think there'll be power conference teams sniffing around. I think there'll be plenty of mid-major teams sniffing around, trying to capture some of that upside. So he'll have some options. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I think when you're a former five-star guy, like once you get that label, like low key, this will sound crazy too. Low key, once you're a former five-star guy, you could like declare for the draft and you have a chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Drake Powell's doing it right now. Former five-star guy, just declare for the draft, see what happens. Like you're a five-star guy, enter the portal. Aaron Bradshaw's going to Memphis. Like someone's gonna bite just because you're a former five-star guy. And I think there's a long history of that. Like he Sean Stewart could probably, if we're being completely honest, go to Europe and make millions of dollars right now to play professionally, just off what he did in high school. There is once you have that tag, you have a long runway.
At least initially, he's just got to stop fouling.
Well, yeah, listen, that's the thing. That's the thing with former five-star guys. I always say it's why I'm an advocate. If you're a freshman, just go. I think what Drake Powell's doing is perfect. If you're a freshman, you're a five-star guy, you got labeled a one and done, just go. The more teams watch you play, the less what I'm saying is true. But right now, after 2 years of college, I think Sean Stewart will have a lot of options. After year 3, though, maybe not.